And then there's also the dependency trap. So without expectation robs people of their dignity. I was thinking, and actually, some of this whole topic of empathy actually came about because I was arguing with someone on Facebook. She had actually asked a really good question. Can't remember exactly what it was, but it had actually to do with food. Okay, it was if people get food stamps, should there be limitations on getting only healthy food? And everybody was putting like, no, 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 there should be no limitations. This is food is just for people, and there shouldn't be any limitations on that. And I was like the only one that said yes, and I had like, five people attacking me at once, piling on
Why
me.
would
But
you? I don't understand that. Why would you be okay with them not having access to healthy food over junk food? Like
yeah,
for sure, any sane. What is wrong with our society where they draw the conclusion to where their logic goes to? Yeah, it's better to eat junk food than healthy food.
yeah,
No, they should absolutely be prioritizing health for these people.
yeah,
It's like you don't care.
right. Well, we've learned a lot, especially as Maha and Kennedy has came in, and things that bad food can do for you and for your brain and your thinking skills and all those types of
Yeah.
things can be affected by
Like
it. And then why not if someone is struggling? So not everybody, obviously, on Snap has made bad decisions, but I'm gonna say that probably quite a few of them has made some decisions to get them where they're at. Like there's obviously people that they lose their job because a plant shuts down, and and
or
they
their
they had
husband's a deadbeat and he
they
drinks
had
all the time
yeah
and
they
now
had
she's left with 7 kids on her own.
well, even stuff like that. It's like, well, you chose the person, you know. seemed
Yeah,
seemed a little personal.
but
Uh, so it's like,
but where does the man come in for being a deadbeat on this? You
yeah,
know. Anyway, we can
but
go
but
into that
but I
later.
think there's like some things that are probably more the rarities where it's like the plant shut down. You've been working there for 15 years and it's going to China or it's going somewhere else. And you need it for a few months for you to get
Yeah,
back, to the next job.
yeah.
And that's something. But I want to create a system that incentivizes good behavior. I want women for this example that you just said, I think it's important for women to be incentivized to pick a good man.
Well, what about incentivizing men to be good men?
Well, that's true too. They should be incentivized if no women wants them. That should be part of their incentive being incentivized. Like, hey,
Yeah, women are too stupid for that.
I can't get a spouse because I act a certain way. And
Gosh.
if you're a woman that picks a man that can't provide for your family and you have 7 kids with them in your example, then I'm pointing my fingers at you and saying you lack some judgmental skills that you need to learn.
Well, a lot of the times, with the problem with the SNAP or the foods, I call them food stamps because that's what they were when I was on them, when my mother was on them. The problem is with food stamps is it tends to be passed down to the next generation, and there's no off ramp for them. Like there has to be some sort of incentive to get off these things,
Yeah.
that they are a temporary help and not a permanent income.
Yeah, and I think there's a big portion of people. I'm not saying majority, and actually, if you look it up, it's about 33% of individuals that are on food stamps or SNAP are on it for more than 2 years. So to me, that's like, okay,
Well, it takes more than 2 years to get through college or
well,
to move up in a career or something like that where you might be needing a little more help. So 2 years is not a long time in
I don't know.
retrospect.
My opinion is if you're using food stamps, well, if you're using food stamps, if you're in college, most people that are in college are young adults that aren't married or
Well,
have
my mom went
kids.
to college.
She went. It took her like a long time, and she didn't graduate till she's like 50.
Yeah,
So
because she started going after my
that's a
dad.
series of bad decisions,
Well,
in my opinion.
life throws you lemons sometimes.
Well, and I agree, but I'm saying if I'm not looking at it as necessarily an empathetic standpoint. I want to incentivize people to make good decisions, and I think again, I think having a safety net like SNAP or food stamps and other entitlements are good. So don't get me wrong. I don't think we should get rid of them. I think they should be stricter. I don't think people should be
I
living off of them.
definitely agree with that.
I don't think you should be able to buy
You shouldn't be on these things for decades.
snacks with maybe granola bars, maybe stuff like that. Some of those snacks, but there's people that go in and they just buy a lot of junk food and those types of things. And I just want to make sure, like, if they're on it because they have kids, they should be getting their protein.
Yeah.
They should be getting their fruits and vegetables. So there should
Oh,
be at
gosh,
least
it's like
there should be like you have to get certain foods, and if you have anything left over, then maybe they're snacks. I mean, kids want snacks,
you.
but it shouldn't be a pile of snacks.
I think this is more of a cultural thing than it is a SNAP or a food stamp thing. I mean, we went to a volleyball tournament today, and the lady that took out the picnic basket of just junk food and fed her kids. It was an unreal amount of. There was Twix, Snickers, like all kinds of just M&Ms, nerds. I mean, I
Did
watched
you buy
her.
Twizzlers today?
No, I read Red Views because Red Views are better, and I ate 2 of them. And I put them in my console. So these things are fine.
That's why
when you
she's
eat
defending it
2.
for you guys.
That's when you eat 2. But I sat there and I watched her kid for his lunch eat Nerds and Twix.
Oh wait, was this at the
This was at the
volleyball game?
volleyball game.
Oh
today.
yes. So no. We got to describe this better. This lady had a bag that was like this big,
It was a
and
picnic
she
basket.
had shelves. She had 3 shelves
They
of
looked.
food.
It looked
So-
like organizing tools that I use for my sewing room. Is what she
Yeah.
had this food
And she
in.
pulled out the food. She had like a bunch of Skittles and Twix and chocolate chip cookies.
Oreos.
She had two shelves of that, and then she did have some fruit.
Nobody touched
it. So, and it was just like
I was about to run off with that container.
And I'll be honest, that lady and her son were big people.
Heavy people.
Yeah.
So when you talk about how these people on Snap eat, this is a cultural problem.
Yeah. Across the board, whether you're on Snap or not. I mean, I will point out, I was being a little bit rude, but I was like, April, look at everybody. We literally looked at everybody sitting around us.
Well, I'm not Miss Skinny Minnie either, but
and there was people that were healthy, but I would say 75% of the people were obese. Were pretty obese. So
I'm heavy, but I'm not obese. Like I haven't hit that line.
This discussion probably goes beyond SNAP, but I do think if taxpayers' money is paying for something, then the taxpayer should have a voice through the people that vote this stuff in. Our Congress, our senators, our president, that, hey, a certain percentage of this goes toward healthy foods, healthy living. And the rest, if you got extra for snacks, then you buy snacks, which I'm sure they could make a plan like that. I mean, it's just like school lunches. They're trying to get school lunches that come from, some of these school lunches that are paid for by us. I mean, they're healthy. They're supposed to be healthy.
Have you eaten at school?
There
with
was
Jen?
an incentive for them to be healthy. I don't know if they're actually.
Lily, do you pretty garbage?
Do you remember? I know it hasn't been that long. So, or is there food mostly like? Is there a lot of healthy stuff? She's thinking a little too.
If she has
long,
to think that hard and that long, then that answer is no.
Yeah.
Gross. That's not good.
Okay,
food.
so
I
she's
love
saying hot dogs and stuff. So maybe there's still some work to do there.
Their
but
hot dogs are gross because they're not all beef hot dogs. What hot dogs? Moldy hot dogs. Their food
Okay.
is pretty gross.
Well, let's not get off track here too far. But my point is, like, the attitude that what I would say the toxic empathy of, hey, just give these people money. But then I think real, like, love and concern for someone is I believe you are capable of work. Dependency is a cage, not a gift. Like, that would be my message. When you start depending on the government, you start to be enslaved by the government.
Absolutely.
So I would say that is I mean, there's that quote that we can't fully say, but I think it was Nixon that said when he did that 1965 bill, and he said basically that these inwards will be enslaved to us
No,
for
they'll be voting
decades,
for us for 200 years.
for
And
200
he
years.
wasn't wrong.
Yeah. So that is, they focus a lot of these entitlements on certain cultures so that they could get the vote. And unfortunately, and it's really got into every culture at this point. When we talk about, um, the government being the dads, I mean, that percentage for all white, black, Hispanics is going up. I think it's probably the best. I looked this up once and I can't remember, so if someone can look this up, but I think it's the best. Maybe it was Hispanic culture where dads are still more in the home than any of the normal. I don't know if normal is the right word, but any of the normal cultures that we have here in the United States.